computer's. There we go. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this little event. I'm Antonia from Divine Empowerment, and I'm going to show you some magic. So thank you so much for being here and giving me your time on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. Okay, so I wanted to first tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to tell you what we're about to do. I'm going to do a little healing where I'm going to still everybody's minds. I'm going to get a brave person to come onto screen and dissolve a trauma for you. And I'm going to tell you a bit more about what I do and who I am. And then I'm going to do a group healing for anybody and then take some questions. So that is the schedule of events. And I just need to let Gabby in as well. So that's the schedule of events. So it's all very exciting. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself, I think is the first thing. So as you know, I'm Antonia from Divine Empowerment. I'm not sure if you've seen my website or my work before, but basically I dissolve trauma. So I have this idea, and hopefully you agree with me, that we're all gods and goddesses who forgot how awesome we truly, truly are. I honestly, every fibre of my being knows that we are gods and goddesses, and we've just forgotten. We have no idea about what our abilities are and what we're capable of. And they are now beginning to wake up. And I think everyone's aware of the golden age. And I think this is largely to do with the position of our planet in the solar system. I think that our solar system, our sun is rotating around a black sun in this 26,000 year cycle. And now we're starting to awaken our abilities. So I do something called higher level magic. Now there's two types of magic. There's higher level magic and lower level magic. So higher level magic it's not an Antonia ego thing. It's actually from the ancient Egyptians mystery schools. So lower level magic was probably what you're familiar with. So lower level magic is everything like Reiki and allopathic or Western medicine or shamanism, all the different types of healing that you've been using, potentially angelic work, anything like Wicca with a coven. You're using intrinsically an intermediary to help you do the work. You're using a middleman. Is it a potion? Is it a pill? Is it a being? Is it a symbol? Is it a sign? Something to help you channel the work. That's low level magic, and it's brilliant. What I do is something new, which has been forgotten for a long, long time, something called higher level magic. Now, higher level magic is awakening your God self, awakening you to your true nature, awakening these latent gifts which have been locked away in all of us for millennia. Gifts that we all have and gifts that we should be able to access and we haven't done for such a long time. So what I do is awaken these gifts in people, and this is what I do and this is what I teach. And I'd like to show you some of the things that I can do. And we're having incredible success doing amazing healings. I'm going to tell you what diseases are as well. So you're in for a bit of a treat. So what I want to do initially is just to start by quietening everybody's minds, if everybody's comfortable with doing that. So I think, and it's an interesting one. I know a lot of people have monkey minds. There's a lot of chatter, blah, 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 blah. Some of it really self-deprecating. Some of it is just random nonsense, blah, 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 in your ear. So what I want to do is just quieten your minds to start you off. And it's basically putting a force field around you so that your thoughts, because you know that you are not your thoughts. Hopefully you know that you are not your thoughts. So what I'm going to do is separate your thoughts from your actual beingness. And then hopefully you'll notice the difference. You'll be quiet and you'll be focused, and then we can get on with the other bits. But it's an interesting one, this, because it's often quite profound for many people, clearing this. So let me start by quietening your mind. So if everyone who wants to take part, if you don't want to take part, just choose not to. And if you do, just please sit quietly, close your eyes, and just sit back in a meditative stance, whatever's comfortable for you. And I will, just for a couple of minutes, still your minds, and then we'll have a nice quiet minds for the next hour or so. Okay, my dear, so please sit back, get comfortable, and let me quieten your minds with this little force field. Thank you. Okay, your mind should now be nice and quiet. So if anyone wants to tell me in the chat whether they will be, if their minds are quiet, you're welcome to. Luna's just put a question. Yes, the recording will be shared later for anyone who's missed it or would like to have it. So yes, that's what we're doing. So is anyone's mind feeling nice and still? Gabby has said yes, yes, calm. Fantastic. So it just makes everything quiet in your mind. Yes, thank you, Beverly. Wonderful. And Luna says, thank you. Awesome. Brilliant. And Omid said, yes, I'm calm. Absolutely fantastic. That's what we're looking for. So that's one of the little superpowers that we can teach you guys to have. That's a level 7 one. So let me explain a little bit about myself, and then we'll get the first brave person to come on camera if they're willing to, and dissolve a trauma for you guys. So basically, I didn't expect to be a healer. I was a very unlikely person to be a healer. It was never my intention whatsoever. I was a TV presenter and model, and I was having a great time, having a very glitzy lifestyle, and building my career in these industries. And then, sort of out of nowhere, I was invited to do a course. And I said, if the money comes, then I'll do it. And the money just sort of randomly arrived. And I thought, okay, I'll go and do this course. I ended up doing it. And then a friend of mine had a problem with her eardrum. Her name is Lucy, and she was a stewardess of Virgin Atlantic. Now, she'd burst her eardrum, how many times? 6 or 7 times. And she was in excruciating pain from it. Several times a week. I mean, the way that she said about it is something similar to childbirth through her ears. Like such a high level pain. It was like childbirth through her ears. Absolutely awful. I mean, one time she was in New York City, and the pain got so bad she ended up running in the deepest depths of winter, and obviously New York is very cold in winter. She ran downstairs, just put some boots on and her jacket and her pajamas, and ran downstairs. And was just ending up necking Tylenol in the alley, in the aisle of the supermarket. She was just necking Tylenol there because she was just in so much pain and didn't really know what to do about it. And this was several times a week. So she went to the doctor, the specialist, and the surgeon, and asked them for help with this. And they said, well, we're not sure what's wrong with you. And it's going to be £4,500, and there's only a 50% chance it's going to work. And this was 17 years ago. So, I mean, £4,500 is still a lot of money, but even more then when you're in your sort of early 20s, it's even more for many people. So, and the thing was, it was really damaging her career, because you can't, as a stewardess, you need good ears. And if your ears look like they might be a little bit wobbly, you can't fly. Because if they do burst when you're flying, it's very, very dangerous. They might have to land the plane for you. It's a very, very dangerous situation. So she just kept on getting stranded in various different countries. She couldn't get back home because she couldn't fly. And then she, sometimes she was flying back as not as a stewardess, just as a passenger, and then she wasn't getting paid for the flight. The whole thing was just a nightmare. So anyway, she's got this surgery booked in, £4,500. And what else do you do with it? So I've done this weeks-long healing course, 5-day healing course, and I just think, goodness, what is all this stuff? It's completely crazy. How can this be true? How can any of this sort of stuff? And actually, I was very very into Western medicine at the time, and I found the whole thing a bit odd. I really did. And I was walking down the street with her, and she just falls on her knees in Notting Hill and starts screaming, going, ah! Help me, fix my ear, help me. And I just went, what? Fix your ear? And I said, you've got surgery booked in a couple of weeks. And she said, yeah, but you're a healer now. Just help me, just try. And I went, what? I've done a 5-day workshop. I wouldn't call myself a healer now. I don't know how to help you. We've not covered ears. What do you want me to do? And she's screaming and she's snotting and she's swearing. And I'm like, I don't know what to do to help you. Anyway, walk into the loos of a restaurant, and I put my hands on her ear and started channeling energy. And to my utter amazement, I started channeling and something started coming out of her ear. Now it looked like a snake in waves, and I was feeding this thing out of her ear, and it, and it was coming out, and I was feeding it out, and it was just pulling out from her ear, and as I said, it looked like a snake in heat waves, and I kept on pulling it. It was about 1.5 feet long, and it was squirming and wriggling like a snake, and I managed to get the whole thing out. As she was screaming, and I threw it on the ground, and I just saw it squirming and wriggling around like a snake. And I was just, I didn't know what the hell it was, to be honest. And I threw some energy at it, boom, and then it vanished. And her earache completely went. And she was like, what was it? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, do the other side. So I did the other side. And we did the other side, and there was a smaller one, the same sort of process. It was about 6 to 9 inches long, and pulled it out, and I threw it on the ground, and then her earache was completely gone. And her earache has been gone since then. That was in 2007. She's never had earache since. That's a miracle. I mean, she was due to have surgery, and she didn't need surgery. She cancelled her surgery, and she's never had earache since. And it looks like the surgery wouldn't have worked. So at that moment, that was my epiphany moment. And I suddenly went, holy smokes, medicine's missing a trick. There's more to it. Can I really actually help my friend in such a fundamental way and actually, well, cure her ear, really? Although you're not really allowed to use that word in healing. It was cured. It's never come back since. Yeah, and I just suddenly, like, my whole reality shattered in that moment, and I was very indoctrinated into Western medicine, and they wouldn't have been able to fix it. They knew they wouldn't be able to fix it. That's why they said a 50% chance of it working. And this weird thing that took 5 or 10 minutes just completely changed her life, and she no longer had this pain because it was excruciating, and changed my life because I suddenly, my whole world just turned upside down, and I just sort of declared in that moment that this was the most interesting and important thing I could do with my life, and I changed my life there, and I just spent the last 17 years just trying to figure out how to, am I getting my numbers wrong? Yeah, anyway, I've figured out the last 50, I don't know what year we're anymore. It's 2001. Anyway, 15 years. It's 15 years trying to figure out how to fix all this and what to do to help medicine, and figure out what there is that can be solved. Because I think energy is now actually everything. So, I was just trying to figure out how to solve diseases, and I've got pretty good at it. So I can dissolve traumas, and I think traumas cause diseases. But before we get into why I think traumas cause diseases, let's get someone on stage, if anyone's willing to come on stage and dissolve a trauma. Does anyone want to come up? I will do a solo trauma event. So something that happened to you one time that when you think about it, it makes you feel very upset, maybe a betrayal or a heartbreak or a bereavement or some situation which is something that happened one time. It maybe you're in an abusive relationship or of some description, but we don't. But then you'd have to focus in on one particular time, as opposed to the whole of the relationship. We're going to do a solo event. Has anyone got anything like that they would like to work on with me? Anyone? Omid, yeah, come on then. Okay, let me see if I can get you onto the bigger screen. How do I get you? Continue. Yeah, I'm going to get you there. Okay. Hi. So, right. What happened? You just we don't need the whole details of it, just the sort of the title of it, so we know what it is. You don't have to go into too much.
A toxic relationship.
Have you got one particular argument that you had with your partner that it stands out?
One particular argument, I don't know how to say, but after 4 years inside this relationship and having the promise to get married in the last 14 days, she just led me there and said to me that she was using me all this time.
Okay, that sounds like a very Deep trauma. Okay, let's clear it, shall we now? So all I need you to do is just allow yourself to feel that. So close your eyes and feel upset about it. Feel whatever you feel. Allow those emotions to bubble up. And what I'm going to do is dissolve them, and then you'll feel neutral about it. So let's do that now. Okay, that looks better to me. Let's get him back on screen. So what we're looking for is, Buddhists call it non-attachment. I call it fast-track forgiveness. But the memories of the situation should remain, so you can think about it in a factual way, but the emotions should be empty. So you think about it and you just feel at peace. So most of the time, all emotions are animated, like happy. There's a lot of energy in happy, or angry. There's a lot of energy in that. Peace is empty. So you think when you're actually in a state of peace, it's still water. You're not really feeling anything. It just feels empty. You think about it and it's a bit like, so what? There's just nothing in it. So let's just see. Omid, how are you feeling about this breakup?
Um, I don't know what happened just now, but for a moment, and this is the first time I feel this now, I see her in my mind, and I just see some little child that even did not know what she's doing.
Mm.
Um, my body is very hot now. I feel this very like fire. I'm in fire. And I don't know, I'm getting emotional now.
Okay, let's clear another. There might be another layer. Let's clear the next little layer of it, because we want you to leave you in a state where you just feel very at peace with the whole thing. So let's go into the next little bit for you now. Okay, that looks like that's better again. How's that feeling now?
I'm calm.
So when you think about her, how do you feel?
The anger is not here anymore as it was last night.
Yeah.
Um,
You can't. You shouldn't be able to find anything. We're looking for a nothingness. We're looking for. You look at it and you're like, there's just nothing there. You can't find the emotion. Peace is empty. People don't know what peace is. It's a very unusual. Unfortunately, it's an unusual emotion for most people. Sometimes people think it's numb. Actually, peace is just stillness. It's flatness. Nothing's happening.
exactly, I feel this emptiness
Hmm.
here in my chest.
Hmm.
And I'm walking the last 14, 16 days after what I heard. And I feel a little bit emptier here.
Because heartbreak's held in your chest. So in your heart is where heartbreak is, grief is in your lungs. So we freed up a lot of, stuckness there.
Yes. And what I think is amazing, what has happened just right here now, in the last 16 days, I had maybe some little moments, and I'm talking about maybe 1 minute in the day that I go walk out in the forest and I felt that, okay, it's away, but immediately it came back.
Mm-hmm.
And I also understand that it's my mind that starts talk to me about so many things and tries to convince me that I am the guilty one and I was not enough and all these things.
Yeah.
But what I felt earlier in this 16 days, that 1 minute emptiness, I'm feeling it very strong now. It's even my breathing is more stable.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I was working on a singer the other day who had a lot of grief. Grief is stored in your lungs. And I asked her to hold her breath to see how long she could hold her breath for. And then I cleared all the grief out of her lungs. And within a couple of minutes, she was able to double her how long she could hold her breath for. It affects your lungs tremendously. I've done that a number of times with people because grief really gets stuck in your lungs.
Yes, and now what is playing inside my mind is I'm now here with you, and I don't know what you do, but will I stay like this tomorrow when I wake up?
Mm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, that's fine. Okay, right. Let me get on and pin myself back on and just spotlight for me. Yes. Okay, so there we go. So let me tell you a bit more about it. So that was successful. Yay. I'm glad that helped you, Omid. Okay, so basically, emotion is energy. Look at the word emotion. Emotional energy in motion. And what happens is emotion just gets trapped in us. You know, when you hang around somebody who's sad or angry or upset, you spend 2 seconds with them, you can immediately feel their mood. You can feel their vibe. Even if your friend, got laid last night, you immediately know, like, oh, you can feel it in their energy system, what's happened to them. So, it's really interesting. Their emotion is just in someone's field. It's always around them. So as far as I'm concerned, diseases come in through 3 categories, which is really interesting. So you've got a gas disease, a liquid disease, and a solid disease. So a gas disease is a thought-based disease. So it's basically something like a depression, thought-based disease is something like a depression. And what happens is people get fixated on thinking in a certain way, and that gets stuck in their field. So we had somebody with depression. On my level 2 students, they often fix depression in people, which is pretty cool. But we had one particular one, which is the first time I got level 2s to work on depression. And there was this guy called Martin who had depression for 27 years. That's in, all of his adult life, basically, bless him. And with depression for 27 years, obviously you go to every doctor, every shaman, you take every pill, you go to every witch, you do everything you can possibly do, actively trying to get rid of his depression, obviously psychology, psychiatry, all sorts of different things. And so he came on the course, and I sort of magnanimously in level 2 just said, right, everybody, fix his depression. And everyone just thought, what? She's lost her mind. And I was like, go ahead, do it. And they just, and everyone honestly was feeling very uncomfortable with the idea. And I said, just do the techniques. You know what you're doing. Just do it. Everybody focus. 5 of you focus on Martin. So they did. And after about 10 minutes, I was watching it, but not participating. I wanted them to do it. And after 10 minutes, I said, right, that looks done to me. Martin, how do you feel? And he said, the emptiness is gone and I feel cheerful. And I said, when was the last time you felt cheerful? And he said, 8 months ago, but I had some beers. When was the last time you felt cheerful without alcohol? And he said, I don't know, but it's been years. So we checked in with him at the end of the day. Same situation. He said, I still feel cheerful. He still feels great. And that was last April. April last year, April 2020, and his depression's still gone. And that took 10 minutes for my students to do in a level 2 class. And we've done that now four times after that in class on level 2. So that's something very common that we do. It's pretty astounding and amazing. But what it is a gas-based disease. So gas-based disease is a thought-based disease. So what happens is you've got more diseases which are liquid and which are solid. So a liquid-based disease is something like a chronic pain. A chronic pain is interesting. It doesn't stay in the same location. Think about fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is a pain which is normally around the base of the spine, sometimes up the spine, sometimes down the legs. Sciatica, same sort of thing. But chronic pain, it's not always there. Or if it is there, the severity of it goes up and down. It sort of flows around like a liquid. That's a liquid-based disease. It behaves like a liquid. Also a cyst. A cyst is a liquid-based disease because it's intrinsically a ball of fluid. So you've got liquid-based diseases. And what's the difference between a gas and a liquid? It's about how much it's moving, and it's about its temperature. So if you imagine thoughts are gas, you get fixated on thinking in a certain way. And what happens is all these thoughts are going into a finite space. They're going into, I don't know, a bottle or something. Just imagine they're just going into a bottle, keep going, keep going, keep going. And if they keep filling it up, at some point, the gas will have to turn into a liquid because it runs out of space. That's the difference. Gas is just zooming around and a liquid is sort of moving more on the spot. That's what happens. You get fixated on a particular thought. And if you keep doing it, it goes somewhere. Thoughts have matter to them. They have a gas to them, and they condense and they become a liquid. So that's what happens. That's how you get from a gas to a liquid. It's just you get fixated on it. The same thing happens with a solid-based disease. And a solid-based disease would be something like a cancer. A tumor is hard. If you press a tumor, it's rock hard. And that's what's happened again. You've just gone from the changing of the state, from making it, it's slowing down, and it's getting colder. I say that disease is frozen trauma. So what it is, something awful happens to you and you just can't let it go. And that not letting it go is just those thoughts creating matter. And if you just get stuck in that vicious cycle for long enough, you will create a disease for yourself. What the disease is depends on what you're thinking about. And that depends where it goes and what the disease is. But intrinsically, thoughts cause diseases in my model. And, it's all very well having a theory about these things, but does it work? Well, yes. I've had great success in working on various different illnesses. I myself had an ovarian cyst. And I looked up, I've got an amazing textbook that tells me the emotional why behind disease. And I looked up the ovarian cyst, and it was utterly accurate to my particular situation at the time. And I dissolved all those emotions. They came out of me, and then I had this sort of, it was this energy around me where I was really grumpy for a couple of days, and then it was gone. And I know it was gone because I didn't have any pain in my abdomen anymore. And then I had a scan after 5 weeks, and it was completely gone. And then I've worked on various different things with various different people, had great success with things like fibromyalgia, clearing that in people. And then that, it's gone. It tends to be gone. Sometimes you might need a little update, like a little bit more, but it tends to go in one session, which is really, really fun. So should we do a group healing on people? So what we can do, does everybody want me to do a group healing? We can do something cool. So I haven't done this before, but one of my students does it, so I'm sure it's fine. We'll do something which is working on multiple issues at the same time. So I'm normally what I would do when I normally do these things, I get everybody to focus on grief or rejection or resentment or something like that. I get everybody to focus on one particular thing, but I'm gonna do this slightly differently this time, and I'm going to get you guys to focus on whatever it is you want to focus on. So think of a solo trauma event. So something like Omid had that situation where obviously his fiance walked out on him. But if you've got something which is really nagging at you, something which has really happened a while ago, maybe that's a breakup, maybe it was, somebody died, something didn't happen you were expecting to happen, that sort of stuff. But you need to be a solo event. So you can't just do the entire abusive relationship. I can't do that on this scale. I can do it, and that's what I would do in a one-to-one session. But what we're doing is just doing a solo trauma event, so I can make sure that everybody gets a go at the same time. So has everybody got something they'd like to work on? Some sort of trauma which is nagging at them, and then all we're going to do is same process, is we're just going to get you to focus on that in a minute. Close your eyes, focus on it, and I'm going to work on everybody simultaneously, and then we'll see how it went. Everyone all right with that? Rock and roll? Okay, cool. All right, so please close your eyes and think about that situation, whatever it is for you. Solo events that happen one time, not something that happened loads of times. And if you had an argument, like, I don't know, your father was abusive, for example, don't think about every time he was abusive. Think of that one particular argument, which was the worst one, when he did something in the kitchen. I don't know, punched you in the face in the kitchen. Think about that one event, please. All right, let's do that collectively. That looks like it's done. Okay, how was that for anyone who wants to talk? Stacey, how was that for you? Have you noticed a difference? Your audio's off, my sweet.
Yeah, feel a bit lighter. Yeah.
Does it feel empty now? Have a like think about that trauma. It should just feel like nothing.
Yeah.
You can't find it. So just give yourself a moment just to search around in your brain for it. And you should be able to, it's something which was traditionally very upsetting. Now you think of it and you're a bit like, so what?
Yeah. I feel quite hot as well.
Lots of movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Good. All right. I can't pronounce it. Atara Joshi. I'm sorry, I've completely done that wrong. How do you say your name, my sweet?
No, that's all right. Yeah, it's Uttara. Yeah, Uttara Joshi. Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you.
That felt quite good actually. It was quite a recent event actually. It was actually, it wasn't something connected with me so much, but it was more like a bit of some sort of argument between other people, and so it was quite traumatizing in a sense that it was increasing a lot of anxiety because you're kind of caught in the middle, and so but no, I definitely do feel lighter. I think it doesn't I don't think I really feel that anxiety that was there. I think I felt like maybe a bit of maybe some sort of tingling, I think, in my head, and maybe a little bit of Yeah, I think mainly in my head and maybe a little bit of a difference in my chest as well. So thank you for that.
Fantastic. So you just feel at peace with that situation, which was a little bit upsetting before, basically.
Yes.
That's what we're looking for. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we just had a comment from, one second, Beverly. I had a warm tingling in my right side of my head and it felt like my sinuses open. The rest of my body got quite chilled though. Okay. And how's it feeling now, Beverly? How's that trauma feeling now? You can speak on the audio if you want. You don't have to come on camera if you want to speak, or you don't have to at all. Gone. Oh, she's putting it. Yeah, she's put gone. That's fantastic. Does anyone else want to say anything? Hi, Kim. Would you like to talk to me?
Hi, Antonia. Yes, that was a good experience. I felt released, relaxed. At a recent trauma that my husband on December 4th of 2020 told me he wanted to divorce in the process of selling our house, and we had to pass over the house to the new owner on December 31st.
Right.
So that was a very traumatic event for me, and I'm still trying to let go of the resentment and the, having dropped the bombshell on me last minute. So I did felt release. I don't know if it's completely gone, but it was more alleviated.
How think about it now. Let's finish you off then. I'll finish you off now. Okay, so
Okay.
close your eyes and think about that situation, and I'll just do a little personal bit on you, and then we'll make sure it is fully gone for you, Kim. Okay, let's do that. Okay, that looks better. How's that?
Yeah. Yeah, I felt cracking in my head. It feels clear.
Gone?
Yeah, I think it's it'll be good if those memories don't come back.
No, the memories. We're not doing is we're not erasing memories. We're just dissolving the pain associated. So we don't want to erase your memory because that's yours. What we want to do is, you are a sum of your memories. You're a sum of your past. I wouldn't want to change who you are as a person. What I do like to do is clear the pain. Just the pain associated with the memories. And so you can think about it, and you can think about it in a neutral position. You just, okay, that happened. It sucked, but I'm okay. No, that's what we want you to be, is just like to be honestly and truthfully and authentically okay with that difficult situation. You're just like, okay, all right, happens, I'm moving on. So that's what we're looking for, not erasing memory. Is that where you are? Hopefully that's where you are.
Yes, I think that's what we got. Thank you.
That's exciting, isn't it? Wonderful. Did anyone else have any experiences they want to share, either on the typing or speaking up? You're welcome to. Or I can keep going with the program. Omid, did we do anything else with you? Or are you just like...
Yeah, exactly. Also the second time when you did it with the group, I focused on something else from my childhood, and I don't care.
That's what we're looking
Actually,
for.
after that moment, I feel I don't care. It happened, and I don't have to go there anymore. And exactly what you said also just to Kim, from my mind, I still have memories, but the pain that was here, it's I don't want to say it's totally gone, but it's so lighter. And still, I'm curious when I wake up tomorrow morning how I will feel, because the last 16 days, seriously, it was so intense that sometimes even I had the feeling something is eating me from inside.
Wow.
And now I'm fine. I don't care.
So this only happened. So this breakup only happened 2 weeks ago then. Goodness.
Yes. And I did it myself because I had so many signals and signs and feelings. And after 3 years, I was tired emotionally. I was tired, and all the promises and everything that I planned. And she lives in another country. I live in Holland. She's in another country. And the plan was to bring her here in Holland, and you have to do a lot of things for papers to get married. And each time she let me down, and I ran after it. And 16 days ago, I wake up in the morning and I had this very strange feeling that it was not my mind anymore, but I think my soul or something maybe from a higher dimension that made me make this decision. And it was a very, very hard decision for me. And from the moment that I did it, the pain started, and my mind played with me and wanted to bring me back. And she did her best with a lot of excuses and a lot of things to say to me. So I come back, but I did not. And something else I want to tell you, it was so amazing for me. I was not in Instagram for years.
Yeah.
I opened my Instagram account, and the first person that starts following me was you.
Wonderful. All right, let's thank you. Yeah. All right, perfect. We can talk about that later. So, yes, has anyone got any questions? Anyone want to know anything? I know this is a bit bamboozling and I've completely just shifted things and it's slightly alien because I've created a whole different style of healing, which is pretty rock and roll. Anyone have any questions?
Antonia, are you going to be offering class level 1 in the United States timeframe?
I don't have a plan to. If you can get enough people together, I'll happily do it.
I know.
Yeah, because what it is, yeah, no, not really. It's 10 till 6 is what it is on UK time frame. Whereabouts in the States are you?
In California, Southern California, so I'm almost 10 o'clock in AM, 10 a.m.
Yeah. If there's a demand for it, I'll do it. I need at least 5. So if you can find another couple of friends, I'll happily do it. But and then and I'll take the hit on the time. But at the moment we're just doing it UK time frame.
Okay.
Have a think about if you can find any friends who might be interested in doing it.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else got any questions?
Yes, I've heard of your lessons actually because I got to know of this event from I don't from
Sage, yes.
Sejal. Yeah,
Yes,
Sejal.
yes.
Yeah. So just to check, I understand you mentioned that it's from 10 to 6 UK time. Are those on every weekend or are those on
So I'll talk you through it. So I'll talk you through level 1 since people are asking me questions about level 1. So I'm doing level 1. The next level 1, everything's on my website, which is divineempowerment.co.uk or .com. It's both. Then Divine Empower, you'll find me. So the next one is on August the 21st, and then if you want to note it down, August 21st, then October 2nd, and then December 4th, if you can't make the first two. It's 10 till 6, and it's £250. So basically, let me tell you what happens in the course. So I've just changed the structure slightly to make it into one day because we don't actually need the space for the energy to integrate because I've moved things along slightly. So basically in this, what we do is you learn how to, first of all, do something called energetic, well, you learn how to meditation hacks. Firstly, you learn how to drop into stillness and meditation instantaneously, which makes things a whole lot easier. I remember teaching this to someone years ago who was somebody who taught meditation, and I thought it was great because I took her deeper than she'd ever been in meditation, and she was a meditation teacher, and I taught her, she went deeper in 3 minutes than she'd ever been in her life, which I thought was pretty fun. So we do the meditation hacks to start with, then we do something with the hooks, which are like evil eyes. So you can hook people, they can hook you. emotionally, because, and then sometimes you can get fixated on a particular thought because someone's hooked you in. And I had this a while ago where it was very strange. I was at a party, and this girl, I was saying goodbye, and I ended up, kissing her. We were like, mwah, mwah, see you later, darling. But then we ended up doing the kiss on the lips. We just, our faces went the wrong way, and we did a kiss on the lips. And she is Brazilian and very dramatic. She's a very dramatic person, and she was very angry and upset that I kissed her fiance on the lips, which I hadn't meant to in any way. The geometry was off. And we both tried to start like, oh yeah, like we meant to do that. And she was like, what the hell do you think you're doing? You've kissed my fiance on the neck. Get out of my house. And I was like, I was leaving. I was kissing him to say goodbye. How dare you? You're a healer now. She went mad. Anyway, so as I got in the car, I felt a punch in my throat. Boom. And it was her hooking me. And I ended up just obsessed with it, kept on going on about it, being a real annoyance about it. And then, like with the people I was with, then we went for dinner with some new friends, people I'd never met before. And before I said my name, I said this story. And then I went, oh my goodness, you are being a really, really bad guest. Go. So I left and I got on the tube and I realized I'd been hooked by this lady, and then I removed it, and then my mind completely settled. So, we can get very obsessive about minor things, like someone, I don't know, steals our parking space, and we can go for a while. So this will help with that. Anyway, so that's that one, that's hooks. And then we've got the big eraser, which is what you've just been doing today, or I've been doing for you. You have the beginner's version of the big eraser. You can't just do 20 people or 20 different issues straight away. That's more sort of level 5, 6, 7. But you will be able to do solo trauma events. So what we just did on you, a solo trauma event, you'll be able to do on other people and yourself if you want to, and phobias. Most phobias. Some phobias are really multifaceted and complicated, but most phobias, which is pretty fun. And then you've got some other little fun energies, like things from the medicine cabinet, like energetic paracetamol. I've got another one for doing pain relief. There's 2 pain reliefs, medicines. There's one for hot and cold. So when you're hot, you run hot. When you're cold, you run cold, to balance you with the outside temperature. A few other little fun energies, and a really cool party trick, which is changing the taste of wine using energy. If people drink alcohol, it's really fun. If you don't drink alcohol, you can do it with tea, but wine's the best one to do it with, because it's just got so much depth and scope to flavor. So changing the taste of wine, and you've got something mediocre, and you can turn, if anyone knows anything about wine, you can turn sort of a deep, heavy, velvety wine into something very light, and you play around with that. And I just really like that, because it's the metaphysical and the physical combining, and you can sort of, it's visceral. You can taste the difference. You can smell the difference. It becomes quite different. If you don't drink, then we can do something with like adding sort of honey or sugar to tea. But wine has got so much diversity. And there's another one which is to do with it's sort of an empathy with different sort of plants and animals, and feel what it's like to be a unicorn or a lion or whatever. That's all in one day. Golly, we work fast. And there's time for practicing as well in that time. So that's level 1, and as I said, it's 250 on the 21st of August. Questions? Does anyone like to do it? Be great to have more students.
Yes, I definitely like to sign up for the 21st of August. And so for the other levels, if you wanted to go further, then would those be on weekends as well, at the same sort of timing?
The level 2 is on October the 9th, and also on December I can't read my writing. I think it says 5th. I can't read my own writing. I just wrote it down. Everything's on the website, though. You can find out where they are. These ones I've and then I'm going to do some of them. I'm going to be doing both of them in the weekend, in the same weekend, and some of them aren't. I've only just changed the structure about a week ago to move things around slightly, because I was doing them over 2 days, and then I realized I don't need to be doing them over 2 days. So the December one, you have the 4th and the 5th, which would be the Saturday and the Sunday. But yeah, it's 1 day. It's going to be 1 day. So you could do August 21st, and then October. You could do if you wanted to do it that way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and like level 2, you get to do bigger things. So you get to sort of supercharge the bigger razor, which is really fun. So you can do much bigger events and much more all in one go. It's about 200 times faster than the one before. And it's basically you're building that up. And then we can start to do things like diseases, which is really fun. You know, like level 2, doing something like depression is mind-blowing, and my goodness, it's rewarding. How good you feel about yourself if you clear someone's depression, like that is nourishing to your soul. And then, you know, working on various different illnesses, sort of level 4 onwards, you can start doing illnesses a bit more. We want to get them consistent. We've got one of my students at the moment, Else, who's a doctor living in Holland, and she's working on somebody with cancer, and that seems to be reversing, which is quite fun. It's a tumor and it's getting softer. So, you know, we're talking about being a solid and then a liquid. It's liquefying. It's getting much softer and shrinking. So that's pretty fun. It's taking, you know, she's doing quite a lot of work on her, but, you know, it doesn't matter how much work you're doing. If you're actually reversing something like that, that's pretty profound.
Antonia, is each level one day or?
It depends. It depends. Level 1 through 4 is 1 day, and the rest of them. So basically, it was originally 2 days, and the reason because what would happen is awakening people's system makes them get very tired, and then they can't focus and they can't think properly, and it's quite difficult. So I was making it into 2 days. Originally it was 5 days for level 1. Everything's just shifted around a lot. So now I can actually do it in 1 day, because at the point when you'd start to learn the bigger razor on the first day, you would be, you know, you wouldn't be able to think anymore. But because I've awoken my system to a certain level, and then the awakening of the planet, and the fact that I've got so many students now, it means that you can do it all in 1 day. So levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 are 1 day, and then 5 to 7 or 8, I'm doing 8 for the first time in October, or 2 days. So at some point they'll probably, you know, the lower ones will become 1 day as the energy allows for it. So that's basically it. It's about what the energy allows for, rather than what I'd like or what other people want. It's what we're able to do in 1 day. And then it saves everybody time as well. Then you've got integration time the next day as well, if you want to. And there's still time for practicing, because everything happens so quickly. You can clear a trauma in a couple of minutes. So we like instant, we like things really working hard. And the school is intrinsically, it's got 2 prongs. It's got one is the awakening school, and one of them, well, it does both the awakening and it does the tools. I think they shouldn't be separated, because once you've awoken, you know, you've awoken your energy system, then the tools become natural for you. A lot of level 3 is one of the harder ones, because it's awakening your system. It's shifting all of these different stagnated bits in your system. Level 1 also includes Chakra Master Blaster to clean out your chakras. But yeah, it's all about awakening your system, because it's about putting almost spiritual Drano down parts of your energy system you didn't even know you had, which are completely unfit. And then you end up with bigger and bigger abilities to be able to do some really profound and amazing work. So, any other questions I can help anybody with? I'm just reading through. Anyone have any questions?
Yes, I have a question, Antonia.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you also do real life sessions?
Yes.
Okay, so it's possible that I visit the UK and I make an appointment with you.
So I've got a whole team of students working for me, practitioners working for me, so we can do things over Zoom, we can do things in person. Zoom sessions work just as well as in person, and you know, and it's difficult to travel at the moment, so there's no real need to see me in person. But yes, it is possible.
Yes,
But
I'm not saying for now, but I have family in England. If I am there once, then this is possible.
It's possible. It's possible. But yeah, most of the stuff I do over Zoom, and I'm moving to Cornwall shortly, so I won't be in London.
Okay.
But yeah, so it is possible, but I do tend to see people over the internet, because it's actually easier for me.
And it's not more powerful to be in real life?
Not at all.
Okay.
I know it looks like it might be, but it's not at all. It doesn't make any difference at all. I wouldn't bother spending the money on the travel, to be honest, because it's very expensive, obviously, traveling. But yeah, But you're
There's
feel
no,
free to book in for a session if you'd like.
yeah,
Online.
there's no time or space limitation on the higher dimension. It's
There you
all the
go.
same. We have to break that thinking.
Yeah, it makes no difference if you think about string theory and everything being connected to one another. It makes absolutely no difference on an energetic level. I
Yes.
mean, there is a slightly social element to it. Like it's quite nice to be in person, but if you can see me and hear me, then it makes no difference. It's like being on the phone as opposed to being in person or doing isn't energetically it makes no difference, but it's quite nice to be in person just for the sake of being in person.
Yes.
But I mean, for nothing more than sort of nostalgia and the reasons you'd prefer to be with your friend rather than talk to them over a screen. It's that makes it nicer. But energetically, quality of the work wise, 0.
Okay. Thank you. I understand.
Cool. Anyone else got any questions? Let me look at my list. Have I said everything I was meant to say? How's everyone feeling from their traumas that we cleared? Good. Kim, how are you? Yeah, is that all completely gone?
I think so.
It feels really weird because you're looking around your head for this trauma. Where the heck is it?
That's a miracle. I'm very interested in this. So I'm trying to figure out the time zone. Your class is from 10 to 6 UK time. That
Yeah,
means
that's 2 in the morning.
2 till 10, right?
It starts at 2 in the morning your time. So yeah, and then it would be until
10.
yeah.
I'm okay because I'm semi-retired, so I can probably grind it out for one day.
It's only one day.
Yeah. I'm thinking on the 21st I'm available.
Woo! Party time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is a bit sucky for your time. So I do have another student in America, and she's an insomniac, so she doesn't really care. She lives in Nevada. So yeah, I mean that's okay. Yes, so Beverly's just asked the question while I was sharing the details. Yes, I'm going to email everybody who signed up to this event, and they're all going to copy of this. And please share it far and wide. Invite your friends. They will still get the benefit of the healing watching the video. So it won't last forever in the video, but the first 50 or so people will still get the benefit of the healing from watching the video. So I recommend sharing it far and wide, and you even watching it. I can add to it as well, but it does deteriorate slightly because it is energy, and there is, it does run out slightly. But yeah, you can watch it a few times and clear a few different traumas should you want to, which is pretty cool. It's embedded in the video, which is pretty fun. Anyone else? Jaspreet, have you got any questions? Now you've got your camera on and looking gorgeous. Anything I can help you with at all?
I just wanted to say thank you. That's been amazing. I felt a lot of shifts happening with my energy and feeling a lot more lighter.
Awesome. Is your trauma feeling like it's gone?
Yes, yeah. So thank you.
You're very welcome. How fun is that?
I know. I'm interested. You mentioned, so what do you call this type of healing?
Divine empowerment.
Divine empowerment.
I won an award. Look, Energy Healing School of the Year.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I write a lot of press. This is my press wall, as you can see. I'm all over the place.
Fabulous.
So yeah,
That is so impressive.
I've been writing for OK Magazine just a minute ago. My PR just sent me, can you write something for OK Magazine about, what was it? What was I writing about? Kate Middleton. Something about Kate Middleton for OK Magazine, so I have to finish that in a minute. But yeah, I won Energy Healing School of the Year, and I won one of the best healers of, that was this year. And I won one of the best healers of 2020 as well. So.
Wow, that is amazing. I'll definitely be thinking about signing up to the course.
Well, I hope so.
Perfect.
I like as many students as possible, because honestly, learning how to do this is life-changing. It truly is, because you can audit your life and go through all the nonsense that you've had and clear it. Plus, there are more good things about joining Divine Empowerment I probably should have started with or told you about before, but I've got it now. You get given a mentor. Should you want a mentor, you get given one of the mentors, and a mentor is any of the level 4 students. So they can help you with anything that you have, which, you want a bit of extra assistance with, or, most of them meet up with you. I mean, it depends on the person that you get and who you are and what they're like, but they start with the initial meeting of you, and you can sort of go to them with any questions or any problems that you might have. That's a really cool thing. Plus, we have 2 community events a week. It's an Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We flip between the days just a bit because of everybody's different schedules, but 2 of them a week. So yesterday we had one which we were looking at cancer. Now on the tubes in London, they're saying that 50% of people, thank you, whoever's leaving. Yeah, thank you. To leave, thank you. Yeah, see you. Sorry, it's now saying that 1 in 2 people will get cancer in their lives. And I don't like that propaganda and fear-mongering. So we were working on clearing the propaganda and fear-mongering around that advertising campaign yesterday. So we're doing that. And then today we're doing some earth stuff about as we're ascension from 3D to 5D. I'm not leading these. Some of the other students are leading them. Next week, we've got sound healing and something about enlightenment. All the different students lead different events about things they're good at. Another one, we've got introduction to tarots the week after, I think. So there's always community events run by, sometimes they're done by me, sometimes they're done by other people, just because it's really nice to be part of the community. When you get to level 4, you get an opportunity to lead should you want to, about whatever, your subject is. We do divine empowerment, we clear black magic, we do all sorts of different things, which is, just really good to have a community. We've got all these Telegram groups as well, because I like to have a community. And we've got one called Down the Rabbit Hole, is for all the conspiracy theory things, if you're interested in that. And we've got one for the events in general, and we've got one for sort of, all these different groups, so we can all communicate with each other. And it's really important to build a community, especially when we're so international. I think a community is one of the most important things that you can have. I do have a student in Canada, and he has to get up at silly o'clock. I've just remembered Kim as well. Yeah, people just get up to do it because it's only one day and it's worthwhile. But yeah, so it's very important to have the community and to make sure that everyone gets, a say. And I also like rotational leadership. I'm very interested in the idea of rotational leadership rather than just the Antonia show, which I could easily make it the Antonia show. But I think my practitioners and my students have got really cool things to say too. And they know things I don't know. And I want to, use your wisdom too and add to the wisdom together. There's a story of stone soup. I like the story about stone soup, which is about everybody adding to the pot. Basically, I know we're running low on time. Everybody adding into the pot and then it being amazing because everybody's added to the pot. That's the way that I like to do things. And I like students coming to me with different ideas about different things. Sometimes you've got really cool ideas and then we'll add them onto the next course if I can develop a way to be doing it. So I like it to be that way. I mean, I am obviously the big cojones, the figurehead, but I do want it to be, I want it to be a community, and it is a community. And we've got, 50 something students and all these different events, and everybody, it's very nice and very loving. And we've got a healing request group as well. So if there's anything's going wrong, you can ask for a little bit of help. Once you get to a certain level, you can just reach out for help, and you've got like 50 people just helping out immediately if something's going on. So it's all very sweet in that way. Cool. Anything else? Any other questions? If you want to book everything, it's on my website, divineempowerment.co.uk or .com. Either one of them works right now. I'm converting over to .com and building a new site at the moment. So any other questions, anybody? No? Everybody good? Well, thank you so much for being here. As I said, I shall send everybody the video. I might fiddle around with it first, who knows, I might not. And thank you all for being here, and I do hope you sign up. Omid, are you going to sign up? You should sign up, man.
I'm thinking of it. I'm very curious how I feel tomorrow, and I will contact you, I promise.
Yeah, let me know. Everybody let me know how you feel. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, please do. Antonia_Harman or Divine Empowerment. And let me know how you feel in the next coming days, please. And I'll obviously email you anyway, but I'd like to know how everyone's feeling tomorrow and whether it's held. For this, it should hold no problem. But if it hasn't for any reason, which is very unlikely, but if it hasn't, let me know, and I'll do a little top up anyway. because it's easy for me. The number of top-ups I do when I'm just, I'm sitting watching a movie and someone messages me and I'm like, okay, it's more years ago than I do now because normally things hold. But sometimes with diseases, they need a little top-up, emotional stuff, not so much. Okay, is that it? I think that's it. Thank you very much for being here. And please tell your friends about this. I'll be doing another event probably in another week or two. We need lots of recruitment drives, and please send the video to your friends, tell them all about it, and hopefully we can build the community and make little wizards of you all. All right, thank you everybody. See you later, alligators. Thank you.
Antonia.
Bye bye.
Bye.